Alright, welcome back to another Axis and Allies 1942 online video. Continuing with the solos tourney, in this video I'll be playing against ABLV, otherwise known as Destruct. He's a very strong high platinum level player. By the time of recording, he was platinum rank 4 for Allies, and within the top 50 platinum for Axis. Played him a few times against him before, in a couple Friday night blitzes, I'm pretty sure, that take place on Rock Warriors channel. Yeah, he's a very strong player. Strong, calculated player. Alright, that's enough yapping. Let's get on with the game. Alright. So, Germany round 1 here. Myself as the Axis. ABLV or Destruct as the Allies. There was no bid. I rolled for Axis. Okay. Well, already looking at the border. I can already tell it's looking pretty bad. Just to rub salt in the wound. Goes for my favourite buy as Allies. 2 infantry, 3 artillery, and a tank. 3 artillery's infantry to Caucasus, tank to Russia. Lost 1 infantry in West Russia, and then conquered Ukraine, losing only 2 infantry. So, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I'm just gonna do one of the most riskiest German turns ever, right? Yeah, Destruct is, I think he's currently rank 4 Plat Allies right now. I myself are also Plat 4 Axis. So yeah, even to superior opponents, I am just gonna tank rush, pray to the dice gods that it works out for me. It's that simple. And the thing is I know Destruct's pretty experienced against tank rush, so this is not gonna go well at all. I'm gonna hit Ukraine with everything, but I'm planning to strafe, stack Bellow, and then conquer Ukraine with the transport units. But that's a huge ask. A huge ask. But I have no choice. I literally have no choice. The game is so heavily Allied favored. I will be splitting as well. Like, I'm just going to use every risk in the Axis playbook early on to try and get the game back. This is absurd. Yeah, that is everything. So I need, ideally, to get enough hits. What's that? I need 5 hits in the first round. Yeah, I need 5 hits. No more than 5. If I conquer this, I play into the Russia 1 strength, which is an anti-Ukraine stack purchase. So deadly, it's my favorite to go for. If I conquer this, I'm playing into the Russian strengths. Yeah. All right, let's get on with this. Might be a short game, but I need exceedingly good dice for the Axis. And I just blow the Russians out of the water. Like, that is not good at all. Okay. I need him to whiff. That's so bad. So bad. All right. Well, what I need to happen is Russia gets one of the worst, one of the worst strafes imaginable, or the Russian dice are just far too good that he conquers Ukraine, and I can retaliate. Season 10 failing is disastrous. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a quick game. Oh yeah, this is disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. Okay, the game is playable because I didn't lose a plane. The game is playable. Still. Evil dice. I read recently that he likes to do CW37 against the tank rush, but since Russia 1 is so strong, I don't even think he needs to do CW37. I am at the Allied mercy. I don't think it's worth the risk. I mean, I'm behind. I want him to hit CW37. I want that to happen. I want it to happen and blow up in his face so I have a good J3 timing. Yeah, I think the plan will be to go for India, and I'm probably just going to roll the dice regardless of odds. I think I'll consider that thought on Japan's turn, but it's either that. No, I can't do that. I can't let him just get an easy stack of Corelli. I have to block it like this. There's potential. I only lost 2 units, right? So there's potential, right? So when I'm Russia, I just can't contain myself when I see this massive juicy stack here to hit with my buy. Yeah, all right then. Let's lock this in. But when Germany can do the strafe, conquer Ukraine move, your game as Axis is it's saved. You're still behind, arguably, because Russia's still so incredibly strong. But I am blatantly relying on dice here to blow back in the Russian face. That's all I can say. Yeah, right. Well, I wish the Germans all the luck in the world here. Alright, that's the end of Germany round 1, and I'll be back with Japan round 1. Right, Japan round 1 here. UK with a carrier, destroyer, 3 infantry. Carrier, destroyer to 8, 3 infantry to India. Took France for 3. Lost a cruiser in 6. Wait, 17, I mean. And then no units lost in 61. Actually stacked Egypt. It's interesting. Now, on Germany's turn, I did mess up. I forgot to move 2 guys from Berlin over to Poland. So, on the off chance that Russia gets a crazy result and conquers, I actually have less units to attack in retaliation. So, if it comes down to that, I'm going to suffer more losses because of that mistake. But at least France, it has Normally in a tank rush, UK drops 2 units in France, but since I've got more units in Germany, I'm more guaranteed to take it back. So I guess that helps a little bit, but I can't be making these mistakes at this level of play. It's unacceptable. Alright, well, the game is pretty much going to be decided. The trajectory of the game, we decided Russia 2 with this strafe. Yeah. So with Japan, just going to do infantry tank, triple transport, go for an India timing, but it looks like UK is just going to stack Egypt, get away with it, and then buy like 3 artilleries for a strafe next turn. So I don't even think India's on the table. Or I'll just have to blatantly pray that UK also gets diced in Burma. So we will see if it's worth the commitment. I'm going to kill that transport because Germany cannot. They physically can't do it themselves. At least I get Burma for free. It's just whether I threaten Szechuan for compensation. Maybe that's better. Maybe that is better. I think I will threaten Szechuan. Okay, how am I doing this? I was thinking of doing Pearl Light, but I'm not sure if it's worth doing that. Battleship carrier, 1 fighter, has to go to 34. I don't mind if UK wants to do a 3v3. I'm not really bothered, to be honest. I'm gonna set this up. I really want to do Pearl Light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if this works, I really want to do Pearl Light. Ships don't really matter. Well, hitting the fleet doesn't really matter in a tank rush. I might just leave it. I expect US to go to 45 and try and defend India, but I'm probably actually not going to go for it. If I'm going to bring that tank down, I'm going to threaten Kazakh instead, I think. Yeah, alright. Problem is I have to defend 60 now. Problem is I need a battleship down here. One, two, three, four. I mean, I can't really threaten Kazakh that well. I'm gonna have to put carrier, cruiser, fighter in 60. Two, 3. Let's do bomber, fighter. Fighter here. 1 fighter to spare, which will go to Yunnan, I think. unfortunate. That was some crazy ones there for my from my infantry. It's a shame it's wasted. Yeah, I still threaten this with 6 units, and UK doesn't really have a way of defending that without sending planes. Yeah, I mean, if it's 4 units here, I probably will still hit it, because I need to probably compensate for the attack on Ukraine. Unless Russia gets blown out of the water with my dice here, I don't have to hit Kazakh. Yeah. Now, yeah, UK's got a fighter and a bomber on this, so this is fine. Yeah, UK's got 3 attackers on this as well, which I'm not too bothered. If UK wants to trade Air Force for this, I'm fine with that. I think the US KGF route doesn't make sense for this game, but maybe it doesn't matter. Bar 2 is... If Russia 2 is really good, then US could pretty much do whatever it wants. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I think expansion route's definitely the better play than going for India. I'll probably drop off the infantry tank into Soviet Far East. I'll leave it on sack for now, but I'll probably change the profile when it comes to Germany's turn, just in case UK does hit this. I need to switch it so the carrier dies after the fighter, and not before, otherwise UK could get a good result, retreat, both killing the carrier and the fighter. Fighter sinks into the ocean, which would suck for me. Alright. Everything is sitting on this fight. It's the usual in a tank rush. But I've stacked into an anti-Ukraine stack, but I had no choice. The Russia round 1 was so strong. It's normally go-to. If Russia gets an outstanding Russia 1, I tank rush. Alright, that is the end of Japan round 1, and I'll be back with Germany round 2. Alright, Germany round 2. USA with 2 infantry, 2 artillery, 2 transports, and an aircraft carrier. Killed the transport in 16. Oh, this one. Okay, I was like, where is that? Okay, yeah, fair enough. KGF setup here. Went into Season 45, which I couldn't really care for because I've already established I'm not going for India this game. Because I brought my tank down from Japan early, Britain, Kazakh. We'll see if UK defends that by sending 1 infantry or the fighter. But I'm going to be really tempted to hit this. Okay. Russia, very, very interesting. 8 infantry, 1 artillery. Took out the other transport in 5, so actually went in this. We've not. I would get it with the sub, I mean. No. Yeah, so Russia went all in. Let's see. Russia went all in. The attack was a 98.3%. 24 attacker profit. Now, that result is a bottom 4% for Russia. Bottom 4%. So that's a pretty brutal result for Russia. That keeps the Axis in the game 100%. I'm still feeling the effects of not moving my units forward. But I can still stack it with no problem. I'm surprised to see the conquer. I'm not sure if you went for a second round. I must have hit back pretty hard in the first round, and he must have hit me expected results. So he went in again because he took so much damage, and then he conquered, and I also hit back again very hard. That's what I'm assuming. It was a 2-round attack. The Russia did have the opportunity to retreat, but I guess they wanted more because they took too much damage on the first round. Yeah, Russia conquering is normally not a good thing at all. Russia loses a lot of its attack power. You can see. Well, I'm saying this, but my hitbacks destroyed him. So, but yeah, that's a lot of attack power that Russia's lost. This is outstanding. I couldn't have asked for a better result, to be honest. This game is playable. Is it Axis favored? Maybe. Maybe. AP suggests it's even, but Russia's knackered. But Moscow won't fall in this game. That's not happening. The Germany, that's what I'm trying to say. Alright, okay, well... Am I holding this position? Could probably send planes to Libya. It's very rare I do that, but... I can't punish... I'm not punishing India, so... It's rare to have UK stack Egypt without being punished by losing India, but... Season 45 covers that, and I've already established I'm not going for India, so I might want to stack Libya here. Alright, anyway. 13 infantry, 1 artillery. I'm just going to stack Ukraine here. It'd be a disaster if I fail France. Absolute disaster. I might actually leave my Japanese air in Europe most of the game, I think, and I might do an air build. Germany's hurting, and I want to preserve their strength for as long as possible, and bring in the Japanese air over early, especially when US goes C-45. Will definitely benefit Germany, that's for sure. Yeah, I do think that's worth it. Good luck to the Germans. UK can retrade west of Russia. I was hoping that he'd miss. Make the trade difficult, but it's what it is. Oh, beautiful. Oh my god. Really? Oh, bless it. Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Why? Why do this to me? I don't understand. Don't understand it. Why torture me like that? I don't understand. Yeah, I can't do the usual straight into West Russia. I have to delay that by 1 turn. Let me have a look at this. US will land in 3. Not really much I can do to stop that. Is it worth my time? Is it worth my time? 2 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, 1 fighter, 1 bomber. 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank. What does 1 fighter add? A 50-50. Lone fighter. Well, UK, these units are technically surplus because I'm not going for India, so I would probably want to defend that a little harder. So 2 planes are required, or I just back off, then UK wipes me out that turn anyway. Okay. Alright, good round for Germany there. Bit of a mini heart attack in France, but I managed to take it. Yep, looks good to me. I do pressure this a little more, so maybe I might have odds. Does UK back off? Maybe not. I think US could send a plane over. Russia shouldn't need any help defending Caucasus. Yeah, okay. Right, 43 IPC for Germany. Recovered a little bit. I think UK would take this. US might take Northwestern and just take Norway afterwards. I think the plan is stack West Russia, give up Karelia for a turn, and then trade on stack Baltic. Retake Karelia, I think. I don't like the drain that's going to happen on the west coast. I think that's fine for the most part. Depends on how hard allies land, I think. Alright, that's the end of Germany round 2, and I'll be back with Japan round 2. Right, Japan round 2. UK with double transport, 5 infantry, 2 artilleries. 2 transports, 2 8, 4 infantry to United Kingdom, and then 2 artilleries, 1 infantry for India. Took France, no units lost. Attacked, failed to kill the infantry in West Russia, losing an infantry bomber. I'll definitely take that. It's a pretty nasty result for UK. Then took Burma, no units lost. That's a bit of a tough result there. I'll definitely take that. I'm not sure if US is going to have a go with a bomber fighter. I expect US just to bomb me here. Strategic bomb. Allies are going to need some dice to catch up, I think. Germany's hurting, but Russia's also really hurting here. Now, I was talking about the Ukraine situation. Apparently, the battle went on for 4 rounds, which is absolutely insane. Normally, the Ukraine strafe is normally 1 to 2 rounds, but it just kept going on until the 4th round, and of course, Russia conquered with 1 tank left. So, yeah, pretty brutal result for the Allies there. I'll definitely take that. That's definitely kept the Axis in the game. For sure. Okay, well, Japan's going to buy 6 infantry, 2 transports. I'm going to get my logistics sorted. And play expansion route, I think. I'm going to go through 36 to Oceania, assuming he leaves. Yeah, I think that's it, right? I will take Burma. I will hit Kazakh. The average is I lose a tank. My planes will then land in Ukraine. Right, yeah, take Yakut. I'm going to drop an infantry tank. Soviet Far East. Take Xinjiang. This is safe from any planes, I'm pretty sure. UK's here, 1-2, 1-2. US bomber is here. Out of the way, yeah. It's fine. Yeah, UK is like they've built for a strafe. I probably have okay odds to hold, but I just don't want to give anything back to the Allies. They are slightly behind. There are ways for them to come back. I think India is definitely one of them. So I will back off here. Go expansion route. I think that's definitely the smarter play. Alright. Good luck to the Japanese here. I'll take that. I'm very happy with that. Didn't lose a single plane. Yep, going for Kazakh whenever possible with Japan is one of my favorite moves to pull off. Those US units, I value them quite highly. Russia attack me? I don't know why they would. 4 and 2? I mean, that'd make Germany's job a lot easier pushing forward. I don't know why they'd do that. I might just leave them 2 infantry, it's fine. I got 2 infantry that pressures both these tiles. These guys will sit here. Submarine. Go here. Or here. Yeah, so the plan is I'm going to have 2 transports here, as well as this one for the Shark, and I have approximately 3 transports worth for expansion. That's a bit overkill. I probably won't do that. Realistically, I'm probably going to use one of these transports to grab some men off the islands if US allows me to. But I want to sort out my logistics as soon as possible. Japan 3 will be an industry, Japan 4 will be another one, and then by Japan 5, Japan has a fully decked out logistics system. 6 transports, 2 ICs is normally what I like to go for as Japan. Alright, looks good to me. Cool. Switch the carrier keep. 36. Yeah, that's also fine. I still have 5 fighters in range of West Russia next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fully IPC for Japan. Very nice. Yeah, Axis should be able to recover. A lot faster than allies here. Pretty brutal. I was looking at it, and you know, that's especially with the Russia 1 buy. Like, you have a lot of artillery as Russia, but they lost all of it in this battle. It's so brutal. Then lost both tanks. Alright, that is the end of Japan round 2, and I'll be back with Germany round 3. Right, Germany round 3 here. 5 infantry, 1 artillery, 3 transports for US, all on the eastern coast, of course. Took Norway, northwestern Morocco 4-3, and then attacked West Russia, killing the infantry, losing another bomber. So I'll definitely take that, of course. Yeah, he did go for the fighter bomber attack. I thought I'll take another bomber, of course. That's pretty brutal. But I cannot complain about hitbacks. Alright, so UK already has 3 transports, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some really aggressive landings. So I'm going to set up the front stack for next round. I tried looking at it. Tried looking at a stack. Suppose, let's assume I have 10 units left. It's a 75% to hold. But by judging how the game's going, I think allies are wanting to take a risk. Yeah, that's if I send one dude here and then send 11. Assumes I get one hit back. UK's 5-1. Bombard 2 fighters. Then US has everything in range. I don't know if they want to ruin, if they want to ruin their shuck like that though. But it depends on the UK result. I do have 4 fighters. I wonder if it's worth it still. It's just if the double hit back happens, it's not worth stacking. So if I take with no losses, I could actually consider stacking it. Let's get on to Russia real quick before I get ahead of myself. 3 infantry, 4 artilleries. 3 artilleries and infantry, 2 Caucasus, and then 2 and 1 to Moscow. Took West Russia for free. Now the natural move is to stack West Russia here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have odds. Russia's not really that threatening at the moment. But I think I'm actually going to stack Archangel and double stack Karelia. I don't really want to lose Karelia here, and it's not a problem stacking Archangel with my tanks. I can stack Archangel at a very comfortable, close to 100% odds. And then Karelia will be at a rough 90% against the UK. That's a UK all-in. Which I'm happy with. I don't really want to lose Karelia. The recruit slots are going to be pretty vital, since my numbers are lower because of the strafe. Okay, well, the buy will be 13 infantry, 1 artillery. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll do this first. There's no point sending what I need to Archangel if I fail West Russia. That would be pretty bad. I think just trade. I think that should be fine. I will blitz Egypt. I don't think it's worth US coming in to attack Libya just yet. If US does so, I will wipe out the carrier fighter. Yep, good luck to the Germans. Allies might continue to air raid. I guess they're kind of forced to. Okay, my dice are playing up this round. Okay, I got the territory, that's what matters. Hopefully France is... I have better dice for France. It's very important I do not fail to take this territory. 1 hit back. It's not really worth stacking. 9 and 1, and then all the Japanese planes make it a straight coin flip. That's not really worth the risk, to be honest. Actually, I need 1 tank here. Yep, this is safe from UK. I probably don't need to send both infantry, if I'm being honest. I do want to threaten carrier drops, so I will put the planes here. This AA gun will come back, I think. Alright, this should be it for Germany here. I'm going to send 1 or 2 Japanese planes to Italy. And yeah, I'm going to only send 2 forward, so I can prepare a France stack next turn. After the... Yeah, Germany has free infantry to trade Ukraine next round, if needed, so there's no problem there. And yeah, will allies continue to air raid? Maybe. I'm understanding why my opponent's air raiding here. Definitely. Got to try and preserve that Russian strength after that poor turn of events for sure. So I have been pretty fortunate with hitbacks so far. UK can do it with 2 fighters if they really wanted to. 3 fighters. But it's only 1 attack. So, I don't know. I suppose it is kind of needed, because Japan's going to be here. That's potentially another 3 more trades. Except Evenki. I've looked at Evenki, like, he's got odds. But then his planes are forced to land in Vologda, which is obviously dead zoned, so that's not an option. So, there's another reason why I like stacking here. Japan can move 2 infantry and a tank forward into a dead zone. Russia cannot punish it. That's really good. Yeah, Japan can take the free money. I mean, UK could block it with a tank. Not really worth it. Egypt, UK can actually stack it on their turn. Even if I move these 2 planes in range, US could just send planes across. I've clearly shown that I'm not interested in India this game. So US actually has quite a few fighters free to stack Egypt, but I wouldn't be surprised to see an air raid from US or fighters. I would always do it with the US fighters, at the very least. I do think it's worth it. It's a 1 in 3 chance Germany gets a hit back, and so far Germany has not failed to get a hit back, so it's pretty brutal stuff so far. I think the artillery in Berlin. Yeah, I like the position a lot. I do prefer this, definitely, over just the standard West Russia. I think this season I have prioritized this position, just the standard West Russia and a tank rush. You do preserve your income. And Germany can actually go for Vologda next turn as well. Which is more income for Germany. It does help. Germany can take this income. Especially if allies are clamping down very hard on North Africa and Scandinavia. Yeah, good stuff. It does give Russia more freedom, of course. They do have to stack this, but they have a little bit more freedom than they usually would have. Yep, alright. That is the end of Germany round 3, and I'll be back with Japan round 3. Right, Japan round 3 here. Destroyer 7 infantry, 2 artilleries. Destroyer to Season 35 with an infantry artillery to India. 6 infantry, 1 artillery to United Kingdom. Tank blitzed Egypt. Took France, but losing 3 infantry, which I'll definitely take. That's a pretty nasty result. Yeah, it's pretty nasty, but no air force was sent. so it's a bit more of a realistic result. With no air presence. The cruiser obviously missed. And then it was 3 infantry, 1 tank versus 2. So that's not really a reliable attack force. So it's still punishing. Took Burma, killing 2, losing nothing. It's a stack of 3 here. Pretty awkward for me to deal with. Attack my sub submerged. Checking my doctrine. Okay, well, weirdly enough, this sub positioning actually makes things a little awkward for me. Because this UK has the freedom to move into 61, unless I put my destroyer in 60. Which I think is the better move. I want to keep both of these subs are grouped together. If I put my destroyer here, they both back off. Well, they back off downwards or this way. But if I don't put my destroyer here, then the UK sub can actually embed itself into 61, which is where I'm shucking. Which means regardless of my destroyer presence here, I can't kill it. Because I have to shuck. So then the UK can actually make it to 35 safely. Unless I actively go out of my way to kill it, but then the US sub would have freedom to move in. And ideally this sub, the UK sub, wants to be in the Indian Ocean, so it can be comboed with the UK Air Force in India. So yeah, it does affect my original plan. I wanted to stay in 36, 46, 61, but yeah, I think it's better just to keep both subs away here. Only because I wanted to stay in 36 so I could bombard Burma. Because it is a bit of a difficult battle. I'm only gonna have 3 ground and 1 plane. Because this plane is needed to go to 46. So I wanted some bombards to help me out, but that's not going to happen. So I'm a bit worried about Burma. But the destroyer here protects the transport in 61. That's going to come from 36 to unload to bury. Unless US YOLOs and kills my destroyer, then UK can actually move in. Okay, well, Japan's going to get 7 infantry, 1 artillery with an industry. Or Manchuria, I think. It's a relatively simple turn, just taking free money, but Burma is a bit shaky. I don't know if I'm going to win that battle. Alright. So I want 2 here, and then I need 1 dude, you, and here. 2 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 fighter. Fighter can go 1, 2, 3, 4, land. Take the free money, of course. I'm actually going to push forward, because Russia can't really attack this. Because their planes land in a dead zone, which is just a big no-no here. And I'm glad this brought out a destroyer purchase. My intention wasn't to come over, but I think it is the correct move still, because I would probably have wiped out Transjordan and then Jimmy could push forward. So it's definitely needed, but I don't have to kill it. It's an 8 IPC drain as well. I can simply just go to Oceania instead, so it doesn't really cost Japan that much. It costs a lot more for the UK. Yeah, I think that's it, right? There's nothing else. Good luck to Japan. Yeah, if I'm gonna miss everything... Okay, he missed everything, that's fine. Oh, 2 rounds in a row. 3 rounds, okay. 2 rounds of pure misses. Wow, okay. These are some awful dice from both sides. But yeah, he didn't get a single hit, so of course I'll definitely take that. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous, but definitely take it, of course. I cannot complain. A battleship here, destroy here. I want the submarine here. Oh, I've got a spare carrier, actually. Forgot about that. Okay. Well, I want the sub here, mostly so that if the destroyer stays put, I will just chuck the sub at it. And maybe some free air, if I can. It kind of makes putting a plane here... Actually, that's not really neat. It does actually justify putting a plane there. I was a bit hesitant. It was worth it. The US does have a YOLO on it. It's not a very good one. I think only like a 28%. But if US high rolls and clears it, then Germany loses all their income real quick. I don't need 3 fighters. I think the only change I'm going to do is actually send the battleship here. Send this plane here instead. So I have much easier trade available for Japan. And it stops that weird YOLO move. I don't think they're good odds, but I don't know how desperate allies will be in this game. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to have a fighter, battleship, cruiser bombard, and 5 ground on Eastern. Yep, I am liking this position for Japan. Yep, okay. Definitely have the AP lead still. And I'm going to try and quickly contest income. And buy Germany time with this Air Force being here. Right, that is the end of Japan round 3. And I'll be back with Germany round 4. Great. Germany round 4. US with a transport 7 infantry and an industry. Industry to Norway with 7 infantry to Eastern and transport to 11. Took Algeria. Finland for 3. Then air raided Kazakh, killing the infantry, losing 2 planes. And then air raided Novo, losing another plane, killing an infantry. So far, I've been pretty good on hitbacks, killing Allied Air Force. Which I'll obviously take. These are very good results. Allies are air raiding these targets for Russia. On average, it is an IPC positive exchange, but when that doesn't happen and you just lose all your planes like this, you get punished pretty hard. So I think as long as I can just hang on in this game, if allies are going to keep doing this and keep getting burnt, I should come out on top, hopefully. Seven infantry for Russia. 4 to Moscow, 3 to Caucasus. Took Novo and Kazakh for 3. Then took Ukraine, West Russia, no units lost. Yeah, I think Germany just needs to hold out before longer than Russia at this rate. I think that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 territories. UK will be forced to hit this. Again. I don't know if US is up for another air raid somewhere, but they might. Yeah. Well, the buy for Germany is going to be 9 infantry, 4 artilleries. I'm going to deploy 4 artilleries into Berlin. Put some teeth against some YOLO allied stack. So if allies go for a YOLO stack, I don't think I'm going to hit it. I don't need to, I don't think. I'll just wait for my tanks to return before hitting it, and then buy more artillery the turn after. So that might force a allied retreat, or allies would just pray. I think the dice change. Bit of a tough position for Germany. I'm gonna blitz Egypt. Actually, move into Algeria. The units are safe unless UK wants to wipe them out. But then I have 5 aircraft to wipe out 2 transports. Which I'd obviously do. So unless UK plans on rebuilding 2 transports on their turn, sacking them, which they might. But Japan will be killing half of UK's fleet anyway, so that should be fine. I'm gonna actually stack shift into Ukraine as long as I take West Russia, of course. My tanks can just blitz back into Ukraine. I can stack West Russia, but I think it's a little overcommittal to the Axis. I don't think I need to stack West Russia. Or do I actually just do it? It takes away that move, and the move here is to preserve German income. Russia would be able to stack shift against Japan, but that might be a mistake not to stack West Russia. Now I looked at a France stack. It's very overcommittal for Axis. I think I can pull it off at 62%, but it does require everything Germany has. The problem with stacking France is the fact that US would then just simply move into Finland. Then Aurelia is heavily pressured. I don't know, do I win that exchange still? Because if I put... Assuming 1 hit back, I send 4 and I have 14 infantry, 2 AA guns. US has like a 50-50 on their own. So it is, I am kind of forced to reinforce with one plane. Or I just risk it. And yeah, if allies ignore it and then just stack, yeah, and then UK buys aggressively for pressure on Karelia. It might be possible to stack shift everything back, have the entire Japanese and German Air Force here, minus one Japanese plane, I sack one plane. Maybe that's manageable. Praxis. Yeah, I don't think France is the correct move. I don't think stacking it's the best idea. So I'm just gonna trade it, I think. I'll trade both. And try and dead zone it. I won't move too much out of Berlin. Yep, this should be the buy. Okay. It's a little difficult doing this. Do I ignore Northwestern? Not a bad idea to ignore Northwestern. Again, allies might yellow stack it, but I'm not too concerned. I don't think I'd be hitting it anyway. I'd just move my tanks into Baltic, I think. Again, if allies yellow stack into Northwestern, I don't think UK's hitting Algeria. On a good day, Germany gets 29, 31, 33, 39, 42. Not bad. I think I will ignore Northwestern because I can't fail France. Yeah, definitely not an easy position. Alright, good luck to Germany. Beautiful. Good stuff. Oh, here we go. Ah. Let's see, what would I don't think Russia ever hits this. Yeah, I just looked at Ukraine. Well, since that was flawless, I'm only going to send 2 German tanks. Could technically send 2. It's not really something Russia wants to hit, if I'm being honest. The 2 infantry in West Russia, US can't really clear with an air raid because they've lost too many planes. So, spending everything to hit Ukraine, I could actually I could be greedy here and actually understack it like that. Russia would have a 66%, but that's committing 3 infantry, 1 artillery, 2 fighters. then they can't reliably take West Russia without overcommitting. I want to apply as much pressure to 8 as possible. Oh, I say that though. I do say that, but it's better for Germany to have carrier drop for it, actually. I think Allies have I can't really threaten their fleet anyway. Except force them to consolidate a little bit. But having a carrier drop threat is always nice. If Allies forget about it, of course. Yeah, yeah, I took a hit back here. I think UK could just go for this. It's fine, I think. Japan will wipe it out. The Japanese planes are not needed anywhere. I don't know. Maybe I just why offer it, right? I'll just send the extra tank. It's fine. Why even offer the option to allies? Yeah, I think this is it. I don't think I need to send anything, like anything forward. Not yet, anyway, because yeah, these infantry will be used on West Russia next round, and that's fine. So I don't need to reinforce Ukraine. I mean, UK, there's no like YOLOs to soften it. It's not happening. I'm just going to leave every available unit in range to dead zone the west coast here. Yep, looks pretty good to me. Yeah, 42 IPC for Germany, not too bad. Since Allies have lost their bombers already, I don't have to worry about SBRs, which is really nice. Next turn I might stack France. It does depend on what's happening here with the US. Alright, that is the end of Germany round 4, and I'll be back with Japan round 4. Alright, Japan round 4. 8 infantry, 3 artilleries for UK. 2 infantry, 1 artillery to India, and 2 artilleries, 6 infantry to UK. Stacked Egypt, took France, no units lost, and then lost an infantry taken back Burma. Yep, sent some units to Finland for a stack. That's fine. Probably going to move that tank there then. Yep, fine. Alright, well, with the Japanese here, 8 infantry, 1 artillery, and an industry for Kwang Tung here. And then that'll be the Japanese logistics sorted out. Okay, so gonna go for Western here. Let's see. Do that. The 2 bombards in. Fighter in there. Two infantry and a fighter. Not ideal, but hopefully I can at least kill the units so UK cannot take French Indo next turn. I want to send the bomber and 2 infantry here, and then artillery there. Hopefully I can take Novo. And I'm going to go grab Alaska, because US can't take it for at least 2 rounds. So I'll take it. Good luck to the Japanese. Alright, beautiful stuff there. I'm just hoping I can kill both units. That's it, okay. I take the territory, which is just so much better. I was not surprised if I was going to fail that attack, but I'll gladly take Burma, that's really good. Okay, I don't know if it's worth the artillery. I don't think it is. If I'm being honest. You go there, this guy comes here. I do want 2 units here. Alright, well that was a pretty good round. Despite Novo. I'll definitely take it. Oh, okay. I did not realize I had the artillery here, so I should have taken 2 from Japan instead of the guy from Bury, so that's a little mistake. It's not game ending by any means. So next turn I should be able to complete my expansion. I should have enough ships. I had to defend both fleets against both subs. I do have 2 battleships if I need them. I guess I want my fighter Szechuan. I'm willing to that. Really want anyone hitting that. I don't think it's the correct move by any means, but having 3 here allows Japan to potentially trade both of these for Germany. This is good, so I can go grab both of these guys, one here, one here. Yeah, that does suck missing that unit. It's fine, next round I will compensate for that, I think. There's still the off chance I bring this guy back 62 instead. But most likely I'm going to commit 2 transports to Hawaii, I think. Maybe I don't need to, maybe that's overkill, maybe I cover it with just this. Maybe it does come back. Because then, depending on US moves, I can take Western and come back. It's still a full shuck, technically. Yeah, I suppose it's okay. It's not the best. Definitely not the best. Well, I don't need fleet for 61. I'm just going to keep it in range of 35. I could move to 48, I suppose. Um, just to keep this guy away. Just keep the subs away from me. Keep the UK sub away from India. Okay, good stuff. I don't think I've made a mistake yet. Two, four. No bomber in range. Yep. 45 IBC for Japan. Very nice. Alright, that is the end of Japan round 4, and I'll be back with Germany round 5. Okay, Germany round 5. Nine infantry, 1 tank, 1 fighter for US. 3 infantry, 1 tank, 1 fighter to United States, Western. 2 infantry to Norway, and then 4 infantry into Eastern. No combat. Just shucked into Finland. Yep, that's fine. 7 infantry for Russia here. All into Moscow. And a very bad round. Very, very bad round here. Quite abysmal results. West Russia killing 1 infantry, losing 3 in the process, failing to take the territory, retreating with a fighter. Failed Cossack, losing 2 infantry, killing none, losing, retreating with infantry fighter. But did take Archangel and Vologda, but lost another infantry in Archangel. So that's a pretty brutal round for Russia there. Very, very generous hitbacks for Axis. West Russia went so bad that Russia had to give up Caucasus, which normally you'd see a stack shift into Caucasus. So yeah, very, very punishing dice here for allies. Still. Okay, well, it's a pretty simple turn for Germany as allies are having a trouble trading. Just 14 infantry. I need to keep buying ground every turn. Because I did the tank purchase, so I'm low on ground already, so I just need to keep buying it to try and catch up. I'm going to do 1 infantry to Archangel, take Caucasus for free, of course. Do 2 fighters. And I hate not stacking France, but since you... How much could you buy? They can buy... You can buy 11 ground. Yeah. With UK, with the extra transport, it does force Germany to be cautious about stacking France in particular. No doubt I could probably stack it, but if I do stack it, Allies would probably just ignore what I'm doing and just fully stack Finland, and then Karelia is going to become dicey to try and hold. At the moment, it's near impossible for the Allies to take the territory, or to even get anywhere near odds. But, you know, that's another potentially 8 Americans. Another 8 UK as well, so I don't know. I'd have to calculate a turn ahead whether I could stack France, assuming the aggressive buy from UK 4 and 4. Whether that will be enough or not. I would need pretty much my entire air force from both Axis members in Karelia at all times. Is it worth stacking France for a turn? That's the real question. Probably will pause here just to have a think on it. Okay, I did a rough calculation of round 6. It's kind of difficult to predict what the Allies are going to do. Assuming UK does a 4-4 buy, Karelia is roughly a 50-50 hold, and considering how the game is shaping up so far, I wouldn't be surprised if Allies would take that. So if I stack France, I don't think it's going to go very well for Axis. I'd have to see how much I'd actually need to stack France to see how much is in Germany to move into Baltic next time. But UK does a buy like that, they might just hit Baltic states for an aggressive trade. Just to kill Germans, right? So I have to stack Baltic relatively hard if I'm going to move in there. So I don't think stacking France is an option. Assuming I have to commit at least 20 dudes. France, I have 15. I would have to... It's just a bit difficult, I think. I don't think it's possible. I am assuming Allies will continue to be very aggressive, despite the dice they've received, so I don't really want to take any chances. Just keep Berlin and Karelia safe. That's all that really matters. So with that in mind, I must take France. Is it even worth Germany trading Archangel? I might just leave it for Japan, honestly. So I have spare planes for trades. I think that's what I want. Yeah, UK's in a real awkward spot because Allies have been losing their planes to hitbacks. UK's only got an infantry, 2 fighters. So that against 2 infantry, and it's very risky. But if UK flips Caucasus, then Japan would then flip Caucasus themselves. That's a +8 for Axis, which is very bad. Yeah, and then UK probably has to send infantry artillery to Burma. Yeah, so it looks like the Egypt stack is also causing problems with trades. So, yeah, I suppose you have to keep India defended, of course. But I've not really been calculating my odds ever on India, so I'm not too sure. I suppose I was in 46, so it does make sense to stack it. So yeah, this is just a really unfortunate situation. The dice really cause problems here. I don't think there's much Allies could have done. Good luck to the Germans. Since I'm not stacking France, I have to overkill France every single time. Because failing it is 2 less infantry for Germany, which is just not sustainable. It would also offer allies yellow France stacks, which I'd be hesitant to hit with the low attack power in Germany. Northwestern's quite unfortunate. I was not expecting a double hit back. But it is what it is, I guess. It's annoying I didn't kill both units. UK has 1 transport, 2 bombards, and a tank. Yes. He could wipe it out. He could definitely wipe it out if he wanted to. Double cruiser transport. Not really something Germany wants to hit. Might be willing to do that. Because allies have no air force in range, so their attack power is not that. No, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it? I think just move here. If UK wants to blitz and take the income for themselves, I think that's fine. That's less income for US. This guy's forced. Put this guy here. I'm going to calculate a France dead zone. I don't really care if allies stack Northwestern. I will prepare accordingly the turn after to deal with it, but I only care about France here. Okay, so if I move nothing forward, got a 96 on a France attack, which I'm fine with. I assume Northwestern is pretty much the same, except UK gets 2 additional fighters. Russia could send their fighters, I suppose. So allies have a 50-50 to stack Northwestern. So be it. It's not really my concern. Ruined US Shuck. And I just bring my tanks into Baltic states, I think. Or Bellow. Or I just buy more artillery next round. It's not really that big of a deal. As long as I don't lose Karelia in the process, I can move my tanks out. Yeah, so I'd probably move my tanks to Poland. Yeah, that's fine. And buy to dead zone it. So if allies want to stack Northwestern, they are welcome to. I'm not going to hit it. Germany doesn't have to do anything. Germany just has to hold on for dear life after the tank purchase. I think if UK is going to come, because then these guys just go back to Transjordan. Okay, you know what? I'm going to move here. I think if UK wants to commit here, that's fine. These units will be. It'll take longer to get to the center of the board, which gives Japan time to build up a little quicker, I guess. Yeah, it's whatever. UK can go for that. Whatever. That's fine. Alright, good stuff from Germany. Yep, 28 units, 5 artilleries and 5 fighters. Assuming that I get no hitbacks. So 38 versus 27. But bearing in mind, I don't have to take it. I don't have to take it. I can just wait for my tanks and rely on my tanks to do the punching for me and buy more artillery. So I don't have to take the risk. Even though the odds are overwhelming in my favor. There's been too many times where I've taken these favorable battles on France and I've just been burnt doing it. So yeah, I just have to remind myself I don't have to risk. Allies are hurting because they keep losing to hitbacks, so Germany just needs to hold on. Yep. Little unfortunate about Northwestern. I'm fine with not taking the territory, but I didn't kill both units, so it hurts a little more. Right, that is the end of Germany round 5. Back with Japan round 5. Alright, Japan round 5. UK had a pretty good round. So good for them. 9 infantry, a fighter and artillery. Fighter 7 infantry to United Kingdom. 2 infantry, 1 artillery to India. Took France, killing 2, no units lost. Took Libya, killing 4 units, losing 1. Which is a pretty remarkable result. Took Burma, no units lost, and then actually conquered Kazakh with an infantry, 2 fighters versus 2 infantry. So that was a very good round for UK, much needed for the Allies. Very unfortunate for me. Yep. Pretty normal stuff here from UK. Okay, well, Japan. 13 ground. Got some spare money. What should I spend it on? Could get some tanks. I suppose tanks not a bad idea. Why not? Some movement. I'm probably gonna move them into Benki when I can, so that they can support Karelia. Yeah, I think this is fine. Just buy everything. All ground. Alright, so I'm going to go and take New Zealand. And Hawaii, hopefully. Actually, do not want to use that battleship. I want to use this battleship. Yep. Take Nova for free and then try and trade these territories off. Hopefully I'm fortunate enough to take the territories. I don't know how I'm going to deal with Burma. It's a bit awkward, but we'll see. Burma has to come down here. Fighter. And then... guess that. Yeah, I think that's all Japan can really do to keep up with trades. Japan's in full working order now, both ICs, and it's going to be 4 transports as well, so it will be roughly 12 ground a turn for the rest of the game. I do hopefully want to buy a plane around, hopefully. If not, it will be 13 ground. Not vital to take Burma as long as both units die. And yeah, I really hope I do make Vologda make all these trades against Russia. These are the important ones. Burma's not really relevant, but hopefully I do make these ones. Yep, that should do. I'm going to leave the lone battleship in 40, so allies have the choice to do 2 separate I want to say 6%, 6% chance to win. Let's see, a solo sub versus a battleship transport. Yeah, exactly. I've clearly calculated this before, so I'm getting to know it off by heart now. Yeah, two separate 6% battles. I'm not sure if it's worth the subs at all. But if he's desperate, he'll go for it. I don't think allies need to do that, but let's just do one. Because this transport is not really planning on going this way. It's going to go this way, most likely. So there's only one. So if allies do succeed, there's only one unit stranded, and unit in Australia is just far more convenient to go grab later on. Yep. Of course, allies could try this battle, but the odds do not improve with the fighter. They do not. The fighter would be the first thing to die, though. I need to make sure I have units that can actually attack the sub. The fighter cannot. Yeah, that should be it. Good luck to Japan. Alright, nice and simple in Hawaii. I'm not too bothered I don't take it, I just need to kill the unit because I gave it up. I left Germany, Germany left it, so... Alright, we took the territory, that's even better. Okay, fighter let me down. It should be fine though. Yep. Fighter let me again. Just kill the unit, please. Oh, beautiful. Like I said, Burma, I just need the units to die. And of course, I'll take a pretty flawless Japan turn. Any day of the week, I cannot complain. Truly amazing stuff there. If I'm going to respond with perfection against perfection, I'll definitely take it. Do I want to send these up? This artillery will move here, definitely. Oh, wow, I'm so thin. So thin in China at the moment. Yeah, I guess just the fleet just sits here. It doesn't really need to do anything. Nothing threatening 61. I'm incredibly thin. I think Russia can safely take Caucasus. They need to make West Russia. I suppose they need to make sure that they take both of these battles. US will probably air raid or sack a transport Archangel. Probably air raid, because I think allies just need to keep taking risks to get back into the game. So, yeah, Russia can take this. Russia needs to succeed West Russia. Take this, and they'd probably stack the log dirt. Take this. I guess Russia could just expand here and stack Zach. Since Germany's going to be pinned in Karelia, Russia should definitely be stacking forward here. Do it while Japan is thin. but it won't take too long for Japan's strength to build, since the expansion is now complete. It's just a matter of getting these men off the islands to the mainland. 2 tanks and 11 ground. Yeah, Russia can definitely go for income grab here. Makes no sense to stay huddled up anymore. It should start stacking Vologda. I suppose you could technically mini stack Nova as well, because I can't do it all, right? Even with my air force, I would have to. I suppose, yeah, Russia could mini stack because Japan's so thin. Except Kazakh, I suppose you'd have to hard stack that. Yep. Just got to keep Germany strength nice and high. Good income for Japan, and not complain. Right, that is the end of Japan round 5, and I'll be back with Germany round 6. Alright, Germany round 6. 8 infantry, 4 artilleries for the US. Infantry, artillery to Norway. 3 infantry, 1 artillery to Western, and then 4 infantry, 2 artilleries to Eastern. I took Algeria. Attacked my... Oh, he just moved into... Just moved here, okay, fair enough. Took back Alaska, no units lost, and then lost another plane killing Archangel, which I'll definitely take. Yeah, like results like this occurring often completely reduces the risk I need to take in a game like this, and I'm just gonna shell up and not do. I'm gonna reduce as much risk as possible, pretty much. What is that? 1. That's 4. That's 5 American planes. UK lose any? I don't think so. UK lost their bomber, but I think that was killing the battleship. What'd they lose it to? Okay, so Allies have lost 6 planes to hitbacks. Brutal stuff, but that is the risk you take. You air raid. Like I've said before, they are justified, 100%. Allies are definitely justified air raiding for Russia here, 100%. Maintaining that strength as long as possible, so Russia could keep Japan back for as long as possible. At the end of the day, that's still the risk, right? Right, Russia with 4 infantry, 1 artillery. All into Moscow. Went for a income grab. Took Archangel for free, losing. Took West Russia, losing an infantry. Took Vologda, losing an infantry. Took Kazakh, no units lost. Took Novo, losing an infantry. Then took back Caucasus, no units lost. So a few hitbacks here as well for Japan. We'll definitely take it. Very active Axis hitbacks for sure so far. (11 infantry and 2 artillery for Germany. Is that 27, 29, 35 on a good day? Keep the teeth in Germany. The teeth build up in Germany. I'm gonna go 2 infantry to West Prussia with 2 fighters, and then 2 fighters here, 3 fighters, and then I think I don't really want to do that. I want to do that, I think. I'm willing to send over what I need. I only plan on trading France. The reason I'm not trading Northwestern is because I don't want to give UK any value in trading. I'm going to minimize that as much as I can. The UK is only going to be allowed to trade France against Germany unless UK steps into 5, which they could. They definitely could. They have the 7v6, so they would be able to do it for a turn. Well, actually, no, that's not true because I'm moving here. I'm moving here this turn. Yeah, I'm stacking Baltic this turn. Yeah, like I said, I'm only giving UK one opportunity to trade against Germany, when ideally UK is going to want to trade this stack value against Germany directly and not stack. I mean, UK gets a strong, like a 1-2 punch, but it allows a lot of variance in the dice, and UK goes in, they get obliterated. There's a chance they just get completely diced, and US don't even get odds on a 1-2 punch, right, in the future. Right, that'll be it for the German combats. Okay, I'll definitely take that. Almost justifiable to put an AA gun there. It almost is. I think it kind of is. It kind of is, but if UK had a larger air force, it's kind of worth the AA gun. Alright, I'm gonna pause here and calculate what I need to stack Baltic, Karelia, and Dead Zone France. Northwestern's not an issue for me, because if Allies stack it, it's not really that big of a deal. Because I'd just simply buy to Dead Zone it next turn. I don't have any intention of hitting this, I don't think. Yep, I'm going to be stacking Baltic. Not really calculated Allies odds on this. It's rarely ever a good idea to hit a stack this big. As UK, it should be overstacked to the point where they just take heavy damage. So I'm not too worried about this. Karelia is safe. 75% to hold. I could offer like slightly better odds because of how IBC negative it is. But even if Allies have a 50-50, it's not a good idea because of the German retaliation. I might actually just send an extra tank. 62% to hold. It's just not, it's rarely worth Allies hitting a target like that with Germany ready for a retake right afterwards. Like, yeah, Allies would kill some high value material, but then US loses their stack. Rarely a good idea. That means that's a tank for France. So France is dead zoned. 97%. I think allies have like a 50-50 on Northwest and that I can just choose to ignore. Not a big deal at all. And yeah, if Russia sends like 4 ground here, I'm just gonna send 2 infantry and a tank in my planes. And some planes. Because ultimately trading against Russia is just far more important than anything else. So yeah, this will do. And Berlin is very safe. No worry there. Doesn't even need Japanese assistance. I have 1 extra dude. Okay, fair enough. I cannot count. Well, I'll take an extra dude. Of course. Yep, leave the AAs on keep. Yep. Position is okay for Germany as long as this never falls. I should have enough time so that Japan can build up, get Kazakh stacked before allies break Karelia. That is the plan. Alright, that's the end of Germany round 6, and I'll be back with Japan round 6. Right, Japan round 6. 8 infantry, 3 artilleries for UK. 2 infantry and artillery to India, and then 6 infantry, 2 artilleries to United Kingdom. It took France, killing 2 infantry, 1 artillery, losing no units, which is a pretty bad result for me. Because it's a pretty heavy drain, so I'm gonna have to probably stack France next turn. All this, and these tanks. I think that's the only way. It does complicate many things because then Karelia will come under flak in the future quicker. But I think I have to stack shift here to avoid unnecessary heavy bleed. If UK's going to get a good result like that, so that's really the only way of countering this. And took Burma, losing infantry. So a very good round for UK. Moved some units into Caucasus. And of course further stacked into Finland. Which is what I prefer UK doing, just stacking. Okay, Japan with 11 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, and a bomber. I'm going to be getting a plane a turn, where they would slowly make their way over to Europe. Yep. Alright, so the plan is to go after Alaska here. Because killing that tank is actually quite nice value. And if I conquer the territory, very finicky controls there. So yeah, the entire fleet is here, which is what matters. Yeah, so like I was saying, if I conquer this, that's more US bleed on this side of the map instead of going to Europe, which is very helpful against, very helpful for Germany. I'm gonna try and do Zach. I don't know if it's gonna go very well though. Unless I send a tank. Just to kill the units. Because I need this bomber to go after Burma. There was an alternative play where I stack 36 and actually stack Burma, but I do not want to stack Burma. I don't think it's worth it. I need all the Japanese going towards Russia here. Yeah, and I think this transport here is going to go to 38, and I'm going to go take French Madagascar. So the reason for me not sending more planes, Zach, or trading Novo is because I'm going to need planes, Japanese planes in Karelia. Because they're probably going to need it for me. They're going to be needed to help me stack France next turn if I'm planning on doing that. I'm not sure how else to really deal with this. I don't like bleeding 5 units to try and trade back France. And if UK gets some absurd dice and I fail France, it's so brutal. Germany. So I probably will have to stack ship into France for a turn. And regardless of allied odds on Karelia, I'm probably just going to have to stick the hold anyway. As long as I have units in Baltic on the turn that allies have odds on Karelia, allies will be very hesitant to hit because I always have retake all the time. Regardless of the Russian 2 fighters and 2 infantry drop that they can do. I will always have retake if I have units in Baltic. Yep, alright, good luck to Japan. Oh, beautiful. Good job that tank missed. Excellent result there. Beautiful. I'm just hoping to kill both units. That's why I sent the tank. But of course I'll take the territory any day of the week, of course. I wouldn't normally sacrifice a tank, but it's pretty important that every Russian unit that's exposed to the Axis dies. Within reason, of course. I could have killed this unit, but I need all my planes in range of France. The vast majority of them, anyway. Bomber. Did buy another one. I do have this bomber for Burma. This bomber could then... I want to go to Karelia. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, because if I go to Karelia, if allies send a naked transport to 13 for whatever reason, if I stack France, the bomber can always reach it. Alright, this transport. Yeah. very nice money for Japan still. One, two. Yeah, I still have 2 planes and 8 infantry on India. The UK can't really move much out into Persia. Yeah, alright, let's lock this in. I don't think I've missed anything. Yeah, this sub goes 1-2, can't reach. The fighters go 1-2, 2-3, can't reach. Yep. This guy's free. I actually have 5 transports in range of this, so if I do want to go for India, I could actually just land these guys here as well. It's actually not a bad idea. Pretty nasty. These planes would have to go here on their turn, next turn. I think he's going to have to threaten a strafe, because it's actually quite bad, because on a best case scenario, Japan can stack this with 12 units. And have another 8 in range next turn. And if I just move my air closer, then India's in trouble. I mean, even just stacking Burma is fine because it stops UK trading against Japan. Yeah, I think I like this position. Well, as Japan. Germany's position could be better, of course, but Japan's completed expansion and got all the logistics sorted by round 5 and 6, so that's really good. The Axis here. Yeah, 48 IPC, not too shabby at all. 103 attack power as well, very nice. Right, that is the end of Japan round 6, and I'll be back with Germany round 7. Right, Germany round 7 here. USA with 9 infantry, 2 artilleries and a transport. Transport to 11 with infantry artillery to Norway. 8 infantry, 1 artillery to Eastern. Took back Alaska, no units lost. Of course, shucked into Finland still. Russia with 4 infantry, 2 artilleries. Artillery to Caucasus. The rest into Moscow. Took Ukraine for free. Took West Russia, no units lost. Took Kazakh, no units lost. Took Archangel, no units lost. And failed Ivenki, which I'll definitely take. Japan can deal with this for Germany unless UK air raids the tile. But since Germany's not hitting this anyway, if UK does such a move, I probably will have to air raid that unit this tile. Or use the tank. To kill as many exposed Russians as possible. That's what matters here. Japan, it kind of looks like Japan has the option to go for full focus Kazakh or go for India here, so it's going to be a really important decision that I'm going to have to make next round, I think. Definitely. Alright, yeah, so stacking Caucasus, Russia. That's fine. Alright, well, Germany's going to get 10 infantry, 1 artillery, save 1. On a good day, I get 36 income, I'm pretty sure. Assuming I take back 1, 2, 3 territories. To deal with this, I will be stacking France. And it's actually not that difficult to hold. Without Japanese planes, they're 70%, which is a very good sign, meaning that US has no odds on France. I will say one thing. Surplus US transports should stay in free. So you apply max pressure with both allied members on all 3 tiles. Because US doesn't have a full shuck. Which allows me to hold Berlin and France, in particular, far more easier. So yeah. I could trade Northwestern, but I want to limit my trades to just 2 territories here. With my Air Force in particular, I want to make sure I have max odds to take these 2 territories in particular against Russia. And yeah, like I've said many times before, I'm just limiting what UK can do against me. I am sacrificing income, but UK is only going to be able to trade Baltic on their turn, which I'm probably going to be stack shifting into next turn anyway. So it's not really a concern of mine. This assumes that I take 2 hitbacks in France. If I take more, I will send the extra tank, because I think I want this tank to sit in Berlin. I don't know my odds on holding Berlin yet, but Allies don't really have an air force, so their attack strength is actually pretty bad. Pretty bad. That's why France is so easy to hold as well. Because Allies don't really have an air force. They have the ground force, but they just don't have an air force to really back it up. Which is making all these territories far easier to hold. Alright, that will do for Germany's turn. Yeah, even if UK air raids this, I still have tank for this territory, so it's not really that big of a deal. It does stop me taking a Vologda, so it does have some value still to air raid this unit. Alright, good luck to Germany. Okay, that's fine. But this is literally the most effective way to minimize losses as Germany when UK dumps units into France or Northwestern like that. You stack shift into it. Minimize losses because you most likely one round it. And you have enough units to essentially keep both UK and US off from hitting you, so you preserve the income and the units you've sent here. Very effective. Oh, that's outstanding dice from those fighters. Okay, as long as I take the territory, that's fine. Right, very good round for Germany. Cannot complain. I can move 10 here. I have 8 to spare, so 2 will have to go into here, I guess. Karelia will have, because I cannot count, 20 units, 20 infantry, 1 artillery, 8 tanks, 9 fighters, 95% overkilled, that's fine. France, UK goes in with 4 infantry, 4 artillery, 2 cruisers, 1 fighter. It's a 60% to hold without Japanese planes. US come in with 8 infantry, 4 artillery, 1 tank, 1 fighter, 2 bombards. Yeah, 60% overall to hold without Japanese planes, minus 34 attacker profit. So that's a very good sign. So if I look at just the US only, excellent. So this stack holds its own against the US only, which means that Japan is not forced to send their planes down, which is excellent news. It means I'm not forced to stack France next round, so I can happily stack shift back into Berlin, and then stack shift Berlin stack into Baltic. And that's essentially what I'm trying to do here. This is literally the most efficient way to safely get units to Karelia, whilst minimizing losses on stacking France. You stack shift into Berlin, stack shift into Paris, stack Berlin, stack Karelia. When you're desperate for reinforcements, if allies start to get odds, stack Baltic, stack Berlin, give up France. You essentially have 3 stacks as Germany, shifting from in a line like this. It's really effective. Really effective. Of course, you'll need to send units to Ukraine every turn. That's a 2 infantry unit drain, but that's completely fine because you're trading Russian units most of the time. I don't know if UK can air raid that because they're going to want to hit Ukraine or West Russia for Russia here. So that unit's probably safe, so I think I will grid out and actually take Vologda and still hit that with the tank. I think that's pretty justified. Worst case scenario, it's 2 hits and I have to sack the fighter. But killing Russian units is just so much value. It's worth playing sacrifices to a degree, of course. I'm not asking for bad luck. Right, I just calculated Berlin here. Berlin is very safe, there's no YOLO from allies. And since the surplus transports of US are not in free, it's actually far cheaper to hold Germany. Because of those 4 Japanese fighters, so I could actually understack Berlin. Which I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do that. Which means Karelia has more units in, meaning that I need less reinforcements to go to Karelia in the future. I mean, that's the knock-on effect of not having a surplus transports. It's just pinning Germans in Berlin. And Karelia, let's have a look at Karelia one more time. I mean, every territory here, besides France, is so defendable. Yeah, I mean, there's... assuming that I send my Japanese planes to any target that allies hit, allies have 0 odds on all 3 targets. Like, this is literally perfect. It's mostly not the allies' fault because they have lost a crazy amount of air force to hitbacks. Yeah, because since there isn't a direct stack next to Moscow, the allied planes would be hanging around Finland, or I suppose maybe India. Most likely hanging around in Finland, meaning that, yeah, like, allies would have a lot of pressure on Berlin, France, and Karelia. But since US have lost, I think, 5 planes total, that adds up. UK's lost 1, so allies have lost 6 planes, which could be pressuring all these tiles. Yeah, we're looking good here as Axis. I cannot complain. And I don't have to exert Germany. I just have to keep doing this for every turn now. Until Japan gets strong enough to either stack Kazakh or gets India. If I get India, then VC plays are open. So this is actually quite a big burden. Actually, I don't know, maybe going for India is stronger here. The allies are forced to stack this. which further pins Allied planes, which means that there is less pressure on Karelia, Berlin, and France, even more so. Yeah, Japan's going to have to make a very important choice to actually either fixate on India, because it is weak, or just stick to Kazakh, and to stack Kazakh and then go for India that way. Maybe that's a little bit more smart. Yeah, I suppose it is a little bit more smart to do it this way, but I'll decide next turn. Yeah, I'm happy with the position. I suppose I've miscalculated slightly. Count Berlin slightly, I didn't realize I could not afford a 12 ground. What is that? That is 13-1-1. Berlin's still very safe. Very, very safe. Yeah, that's completely fine. Yeah, because US gets 6 ground, 1 plane. Like it's so tragic. It really is. Allied attack power is so bad. Yeah, it's still safe despite the slight miscalculation. I forgot I could not afford the usual 12. Yep, good stuff. Yeah, allies have a 2.9%. 1.4% if I send that bomber and that tank. I suppose the tank completely... Yeah, the tank solidifies it, so... Yeah, it's a 1.1% chance to take Berlin. Yeah, very safe. Leave the AA on keep, so I shoot at both allied planes. So this is what I like to call, on the Axis side, a controlled Finland shuck. Axis, well, Germany has control over Europe. Trades are minimized. The UK can't really do much trading against Germany because I'm stacking. Even if UK then takes Baltic, I'm just going to stack shift into it anyway next turn. And allies are forced to funnel into Finland because Axis have both their air forces in Karelia, meaning that there is too much pressure on 8. I suppose allies could risk it. I mean, there's no real point UK staying in 8 anymore. They might as well come into 5. Still risky though. What is that? That's... Yeah, basically, allies are just forced to stack this every turn. And UK trading is minimized entirely. So Germany is preserving their income, their units, as much as they can against allies, US and UK. And all the VCs are safe. So this is the ideal KGF position, in my opinion. Alright, that is the end of Germany round 7, and I'll be back with Japan round 7. Alright, Japan round 7. UK with 9 infantry and a bomber. 3 infantry to India, 6 infantry, 1 bomber to UK. Attacked France with an infantry, artillery, 2 cruisers, pretty sure. Yep. Lost infantry, artillery, and killed 2 infantry. A good result. He was trying to see if he could pick off my AA gun. I left it on keep. Always leave it on. Always leave your AA guns on keep. It's Germany. Against, well, for this reason, just in case UK tries to pick off an AA gun, but mostly because the 1-2 punch on several targets. It's not like allies have any options, any odds really on these. But it's to protect the AA gun, so the AA gun shoots at all the allied planes instead of just the UK's. That is a good move. He knows that I've got my AA on keep now. And took Ukraine, no units lost. Of course, further shucked into Finland. I actually sent a transport down to 23. Mostly to respond to this battleship going to Africa. Alright. He did fail Burma. Killing 2, losing 2. Which I'll take. It's a nice result. So, as Japan, I could actually, like, fixate on India. But I feel like it's a bit of a throw, because Germany can never move from Karelia. Russia's actually free to reinforce India as much as they need. So I'm just gonna keep going for Kazakh instead. I mean, this is great still. The UK unit count defense is still pretty low. And they're still forced to hold it every turn. Because if I do take India, that's the end of the game. If I'm stacking these VC cities. The UK can't really move any units into Persia. To move into Caucasus. Trade against Germany. Or support a Kazakh stack. Because I have 5 transports in range. The UK is pinned to India until allies figure out how they're going to crack Europe. So it's more of a burden to the allies than a boon in a scenario like this. Alright, Japan's going to buy 12 ground and a bomber. And this will most likely be the buy for the rest of the game, unless I buy tanks for Kwangtung. Or Kazakh stack. Yep. I'm going to take Vologda for free. Nova for free. I'm going to trade Kazakh heavy because Russia is trading against me and only Russia. So I'm happy. And I'm going to send a tank, 4 fighters against Archangel. Hopefully I get to kill both units without taking a plane loss. Oh, I suppose I could send this bomber as well. Does it? Yeah, because since I don't need to trade Burma, this bomber's not needed anymore, so it can go this way. Land directly into Karelia, adding more pressure to all the sea zones. Good luck to Japan. Alright, beautiful stuff. Actually a really annoying trade for Russia. Oh, what am I doing? I'm supposed to take French Madagascar. Do you know what? That's fine. Fine, I'll just land here. And what I'll do instead, okay, well that was a mistake. What I'll do instead is, next turn, one of these transports will go and collect men off the islands. Yeah, that was a mistake. It's fine though. It's fine. It's more ground going towards Russia, so it's not. Okay, that's more than fine. I'm happy with that. That is a very good result. Yeah, a little bit of a boo-boo there. That's fine. I'm just gonna land. Yeah. Under normal circumstances, I would have taken this because it's practically permanent income. Because allies can never really take this back. But whatever, it's fine. I'll just have more ground go towards Russia. It's not really that big of a deal. That is a little silly of me. Not paying attention. I could put an AA gun there, but Russia most likely just stack shifts to Kazakh to deal with the problem. It's just not worth the AA gun. To counteract this, I'm gonna stack Donkey. A little annoying, but it's fine. These units will be used to trade Burma next turn, and then this transport will go to 62 if it's safe. Duck. And one of these transports here will move range of these units here. Okay. It's fine. This UK transport probably just goes back. I mean, it could stay there, I guess. Probably going to be confused why I didn't take this, but fine. I'm sure that little mistake will not cost me the game. Looks pretty good to me. Besides missing Madagascar. Yep, 1, 2, can't reach. 1, 2, 3, can't reach. 2, can't reach. 61 is still safe. Yep, and Germany is just going to do their best to just control the allies here. Minimize trades against UK. And just stack Karelia indefinitely, hopefully, whilst Japan just builds up slowly. Japan's doing pretty well contesting the income, and yeah, they've completed expansion, and I'm just going to pull men off the islands. 48 IPC for Japan, very nice. And yeah, Germany's sitting on pretty nice attack power. And UK strength is inflated because they're not trading against Germany. So that's what I like to see. I do like to see UK inflated in their strength. They're not trading against Germany. Alright, that is the end of Japan round 7, and I'll be back with Germany round 8. Alright, Germany round 8. 10 infantry and 3 artilleries for the US. Infantry artillery to Norway with 2 infantry and artillery to Western. 7 infantry, 1 artillery to Eastern. No combat, just shocked. Moved forward into Egypt. Pretty much it, just shuffle units up the Western. Six infantry, 1 artillery for Russia. 2 infantry, 1 artillery to Caucasus, and then 4 infantry to Moscow. Took West of Russia back, losing no units. Took Kazakh, losing an infantry. It's actually a really good result because of what he sent. But he failed Vologda, so I'll take that as compensation. Alright, so yep, that's another 2 units of Russians dead. If UK does not defend Caucasus, I'm going to be very, very tempted to air raid them. Because if these units are dead by Germany, if Japan air raids them, then Russia cannot trade Ukraine next turn. Assuming I take it, of course. Yep, alright, well. Germany's turn is going to be pretty simple here. 12 infantry. Pretty nice buy. There's no SBR damage, so it's just going to be 10 and 2. Fairly simple. I'm going to give up France. I'm going to stack Baltic. I will be blitzing Archangel for the money. Infantry, artillery. I think 2 fighters and then 3 and 2 here. On a good day, Germany makes 36 income, which means I don't have to trade Northwestern. If I don't kill that unit, it gives an extra unit for UK to attack Karelia with. So the Karelian odds right now is roughly a 63%. 73%, my bad. So it's starting to get to the point where reinforcements are going to get desperately needed, but I am stacking Baltic this turn. Since the UK sent an extra transport down, they have less strength on Baltic. And UK doesn't have a particularly strong air force. So the attack isn't that concerning. I don't think allies are going to be taking any odds on Karelia, because it just knackers both. It knackers both UK and US, which I don't think is very nice. A very nice exchange for allies to take, because it is an overwhelming around -60 to -70 attacker profit. So it really is not a battle that allies want to take. And, you know, if UK goes in and gets below average, US odds decrease drastically. Northwestern. Do I want to send infantry artillery? Is it worth the material? Is it even worth the unit drain for the +2? I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth 2 units. I'm probably just going to leave it. The only way I see myself interested in trading Northwestern again is if Germany, for 1 turn, only has to trade 2 territories. I'm already taken up by trying to keep the East contained. So I just don't think it's worth it. Yep. Bad. Especially if I miss like that. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Oh, wow, that's ugly. That's an ugly double hit back there. Ugh, vile. Okay, so that cost me an extra unit. So overall a 37%, that's really not something allies want to take. Especially when Germany has retake odds. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, I'll make sure Japan should air raid this if UK moves their planes. Because then Japan kills an additional 5 Russians. And then if you look at Moscow, look how bad this garrison is. Like, that is not good at all. I don't know, maybe allies are going to get pretty desperate and actually do take Karelia odds. I'm not sure. If allies yellow stack France, I don't have to hit it. I can just take my time. Yeah, it looks like Russia's in trouble. UK's going to have to bait India, I think. Like, stack shift into Persia. Gotta deny that Kazakh stack. It looks like I have a Novo stack anyway. Because if UK doesn't hit Karelia, I can move my planes here. Ultimately, the only thing that matters is Karelia holding. Nothing else matters. I'm actually going to leave no units in Poland. If I ever need to take this, I can just sacrifice a tank. I'm going to get a huge influx of German units. It's not really a concern. What's the most important thing is that all these units here are dead from allies, so that's the only thing that matters. I've done this many times before, giving up income specifically to keep allies out of Europe. I've not bothered calculating Berlin. I assume it's fairly impossible at this point. Yeah, I do think this is the turn for allies to react. And yeah, the allies are going to need dice to get back into the game, 100%. I mean, the AP suggests that the game's almost even, but hitbacks have been fairly harsh against the Allied Air Force. So they're still looking for compensation somewhere, but the odds are not good. They're not good. Like, UK gets annihilated if they hit this. But on US's turn, they make 30 IPC back, but it's still overall a minus 54 attacker profit. So it's really not a good attack. Alright, that is the end of Germany round 8, and I'll be back with Japan round 8. Alright, Japan round 8. 8 infantry with 2 artilleries. 5 and 2 to UK and 3 infantry to India. Bombed Berlin for 2. Took France for 3. Took Burma back, no units lost, and then air raided west of Russia, pretty sure. Yep, no units lost. Alright, sent some units to Persia. Alright, good stuff. I'm fine with that. So yeah. Japan. 12 more infantry and a bomber. think one more round of this, and then I'm probably going to start going for timings on Moscow. I'm not in any rush to finish the game. So just keep getting as many units as possible into China. Yeah, this will definitely be the buy. Right, so the plan is to try and take back Burma. I'm going to send 1, 2, 3, 4 on a tank here, because all my air force is going to be hitting Caucasus still. Despite the UK air force, I have calculated the battle. I have a 99.4% to win. But I'm going to go in for one round, most likely, because I just want to kill the Russian units. While they're semi-exposed, there are some defenders here, so I am going to be taking some losses here. But yeah, that is the plan, to kill these Russians, because then Russia's really hurting. Really, really hurting. Yeah, I'm going to do this to try and confirm the trade. It is unfortunate because UK will just simply trade it back. But I am stacking Novo this turn. At least 1 or 2 fighters have to go into Novo. I could probably get away with doing 1, because if Russia dares to hit me, it depends on the result on Caucasus or not, of course, but if Russia ever hits me, Germany is just going to move into West Russia and just loot Moscow, I think. I think that would probably be the plan. As long as this is dead zoned, that I can do that move. But ultimately the decision will be made on the result on Caucasus, I think. And yeah, I think that's it for Japan. I could take Alaska, but I don't see the reason to. Just going to grab these men off the islands. And this transport will go to 50 as well to grab some more men. So in the Caucasus battle, I can sack 1 fighter, 2 bombers. Because the fighters I'll probably need for defense still. Alright, excellent stuff. Yeah, I was just getting second thoughts about actually continuing, because UK's just going to wipe it out. But I think it's fine. Oh, beautiful. Unbelievable. Oh my god. Oh, this is... okay, this is too much. Yeah, well, there's not really much the Allies can do if Axis are just going to get ridiculously good results like that. That's absolutely insane. Wow. That is a top. Oh man, that's so brutal. That's so disgusting. Yep. Yeah, that's the top 11% result for Japan. That's so disgusting, it really is. Of course, I'll take it any day of the week. I'll take dice like this all the time. Unbelievable. Wow, what a result. I mean, that was a spectacular round for Japan. I took Burma as well, which was an iffy one. Okay. Absolutely outstanding dice. I want the destroyer to stay here. Does this fleet just stay here? Let's see. Battleship for both. I'll move the sub forward. Okay, yeah, move everything forward here. You guys forward. Now the plan is to do this. Because Russia still has to bleed 3 ground to even take these territories. But maybe that's not the best move. Maybe I should just block absolutely everything here. The alternative is to move this guy here, this tank here, this imp here, and I could still stack it, of course. Because I could just leave 2 fighters. Like, he's got a 58%, but that's just something he can't really take. Right, I think the plan is I'm gonna leave 3 fighters here, 2 here. Because US doesn't have the best odds in the world. If allies are looking for a YOLO, this would be one of them, I think. I suppose it's not that bad since UK has a stack of their own. It's not bad for US to roll, even though I have reinforcements coming. I leave 2 fighters. It's a 10%. I'm a little bit more willing to do that. I think. Like, US has a 10%. Minus 50 attacker profit on this. US trading their strength away. It's not ideal for allies. And then Novo is at 64%, which I just don't think he's ever taking that. That's why I kind of think, I don't know, I think I'm just going to do this because I just don't see Russia ever rolling on that, because it does require... But if Russia rolls on this, Russia's not taking anything else. Like, they're not taking any money. Which is just bad for Russia. I'm just going to leave that there. It's just not a good attack. That leaves Karelia at a very comfortable 94% against the US only, but I don't think allies will ever get odds anyway, because I am reinforcing with everything here. Even if UK punches, I still have 2 Japanese planes to spare. Yeah, I think this is solid. It is unfortunate about this, but I think it's fine. Yep, very, very good round for Japan. This is a fairly dominant position that Axis have on the board right now. Assuming Germany can still hold Karelia, of course. Allies can't really do anything to save Russia. This Kazakh stack looks pretty much unstoppable. Yeah, but that result, that's so dominant. It's absolutely ridiculous the dice Japan got on there. I cannot complain. That was outstanding. Yep, I'm not missing anything. Yep, 48 IPC, like that's just 12 infantry, 1 bomber every single round if Japan can keep it up. But the buy will definitely change next round because I'm gonna get Kazakh stacked, so I just need to buy tanks pretty much. Tanks and bombers just to get a timing. There's not really much allies can do to stop me. Unless they luck out on Karelia in the future. Like, even if allies yellow stack France, it really is not a big deal. I don't have to hit it. I can just preserve German strength. Japan still takes Moscow and flies its air over, and then that's it. That's pretty much game. Right, that is the end of Japan round 8, and I'll be back with Germany round 9. Alright, Germany round 9. Nine infantry, 2 artilleries, and a transport for the US. Transport to 11. Infantry, artillery to Norway. Rest into Eastern. Attacked Karelia, killing 22 infantry, losing 31 infantry, 8 artillery, tank, and 2 fighters. Did send both the battleship and cruiser bombard. Well, now for a defensive result, that is around a top 38% result for Germany. The averages I have: 6 tanks, 8 fighters left. I'll take that, of course. US only had a 5.1%. Then US further shucked into Finland. Russia with 3 infantry, 2 artilleries, all into Moscow, of course. I took West Russia and Vologda, units lost. Good round for Russia. Okay, so the only realistic way Allies make it back into the game is if they take Berlin or they take Karelia. They could stack France this turn, most likely. I've not calculated it, but Germany never has to hit it because I don't have to take any battles pretty much for the rest of the game here. I just have to hold with Germany and preserve their strength. Japan's on Moscow's border. It will not be long until I get odds. It really won't. It really won't take long. UK's going to wipe this out, assuming they actually get the dice they need. But even if they do that, I will be stacking because I'm pretty sure. I don't think the Russian odds are that good. Russia rolling is a very desperate move. Very, very desperate. So I will obviously see the Russian odds. It's never ideal for Russia to do that. But, I don't know, I don't think Russia can still, because even if I have my Japanese planes in Karelia, I can sacrifice the Japanese Air Force to kill Moscow. With Germany, maybe. I'm not sure if it's worth it though. Probably better just to stay passive with Germany, I think. The Allies are looking to try and take anything at this point, especially after that result. I'm going to stack Karelia again, and Allies have 0 odds again. Like, it's not really done anything. Yeah, I can stack with 99.4% odds. And a YOLO on Berlin, it's impossible. Allies have no odds on Berlin. And that's what matters. Like, Axis can't really lose this game at this point. Alright, so Germany's going to buy 11 infantry. Repair nothing. I'm going to save the 1. So I can at least buy 11 ground next turn. I'm only going to trade Northwestern and France. I'm actually going to ignore West Russia, and I'm actually going to ignore Ukraine, because Allies are literally gunning for either of these targets. So the only important thing is just to stack everything here. Give Allies 0 odds on anything. Japan will handle this on their turn. Even if UK wipes this out, I can just air raid it. It's not a big deal. It's more Russians exposed that will be dying. Yeah. I'm going to trade France. And I'm going to send 1 dude to Northwestern to kill the unit. And that is it. That's all for combat. The only important thing here is taking France back. Good luck to the Germans. Alright, good stuff. France is secured. That's fine. I'll take that next round. Could be a nuisance and just put an AA gun there. It doesn't really make any sense if Allies will YOLO stack it though. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have this dead zoned. Look at Berlin. Plus 8. So it's 24, 5. Yeah, it's very, very safe. I might move the air gun here, because UK might just air raid the unit. If they're not going to hit this, they're just going to air raid this unit. Stop me taking Ukraine next turn. I have a chance just to kill the bomber outright with the AA gun. Allies have a combined 0.6% chance on Karelia. Alright, good stuff. That is 23. Okay, fair enough. There you go. Yeah, it's a pretty heavy drop off there for allies there. and you know, US sacrificed their strength, and Germany's still above 100 attack power. It is after the German buy, of course, but yeah, I didn't lose anything of value here, just 22 infantry. Didn't lose any tanks or planes, so that's standing. Alright, that is the end of Germany round 9, and back with Japan round 9. Alright, that is the end of this game here. Axis victory. Looks like my opponent forfeited here after hitting Karelia. Another 8 infantry, 3 artilleries. Karelia, yeah, Kazakh and Burma, but looks like threw in the towel after this result. What's that? Yeah, 5 hits to Germany's 3, 7, 12. If I'm not mistaken. 12 would chew through. Yeah, like, so he would have like around 3 artillery left. 3 artillery left, and I would have 3 infantry. Yeah, I don't think US would have anywhere near odds after that. Yeah, I checked. Even if UK continued, US had like no odds. So, yeah, that's the end of the game here. Yeah, a pretty good one for me. The game was quite harsh on the Allied side, but it was definitely a fun game. So if we go back to round 1 quickly, Russia had an outstanding start. Yeah, -1 West Russia and then lost 2 in Ukraine. Absolutely outstanding. Did the anti-Ukraine buy. One of them. The other one is you trade the 2 infantry for an extra tank for the maximum attack power. Mostly for Karelia. Very strong start for Russia. The game was so Allied favored. There was no way Axis would come back without dice, so I just tank rushed. Tank rushed sport, stacked Ukraine, did the 5-1 split, failed 10. I think 7 was a close one. I think it was, yeah, I think I remember it was the 2 fighters versus the battleship, and the battleship missed twice. So if I had failed 7, or if UK killed a fighter, it's practically game over. It all depended on Ukraine. Yeah, so I stacked Ukraine. I think the intention was to try strafe it, stack Bellow, and capture Ukraine with the transport units. I don't think the rest of the turns were eventful, except when it came to Russia 2. Russia went in for Ukraine and got like a bottom 4%, I think I remember saying. Very, very generous result for Germany. That is literally one of the only ways that Axis could get back into the game. Russia lost all their teeth. Yeah, that's definitely what... I wouldn't say it decided the game. It definitely gave Axis the chance to come back after that start. And I pretty much played a standard game, buying max infantry and trying to keep Karelia plugged, keep France dead zoned. Allies were air raiding at every given opportunity for Russia, and they just were getting destroyed by hitbacks. Well, yeah, that's 2 planes so far, and then that's 5 planes. Six planes. I think it's 6 planes total loss, which is brutal. Yeah, that's a lot of US muscle lost to air raids. Yeah, the air raid's definitely justified. On average, it is profitable for allies. Makes Russia's turn very simple. Just have to commit an infantry to take the territory and no combat, so there's no chance of that unit drain. I can't really say I agree with this, but I suppose Germany had such a good result in Ukraine. Allies had just had to keep taking risks to keep up. Because Japan wasn't going for India; they were going straight for Russia. So yeah, I think there was definitely, I definitely do agree with the air raids. It's just they got punished for it. Yeah, ultimately, Germany was just stack shifting between France, Berlin, Baltic, Karelia. Keep allies in a controlled Norway shuck. That's what I like to call it. Allies are only really funneling into Finland. UK isn't really trading heavy because Germany is stack shifting and limiting where UK can trade. I think I left Northwestern for several turns because it just was not worth the unit drain, and plus I didn't have enough planes to feel comfortable enough hitting the target as well as clearing the more important targets, which are against Russia in particular, making sure Archangel, West Russia, Ukraine are all dead from Russian units. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the goal for the Axis this game was to kill Russia, and I took any opportunity to kill Russians. I think Japan did a pretty strong air raid, literally last round, on Caucasus, losing a plane. That was like a top 13% result. I think it was top 11, top 13%. Outstanding result. I think Japan did Szechuan round 2, which is one of my favorite moves. That cheeky air raid with the tank planes. Yep, so I took some air raids myself this game. Now, ultimately, everything decided on whether Germany could actually hold Karelia. Nothing else mattered. I gave up income specifically to hold Karelia. So from my calculations, because I think I calculated slightly wrong, when I moved the 2 planes to Novo, Allies had around... Yeah, so US went in first. I sent 2 planes out. I don't think I've calculated this wrong, because I've double-checked this. I had a 65% to hold against the 1-2 US-UK attack. That includes the German reinforcements in Baltic. Also, -2 German planes, which is what I actually took out. So originally I had roughly 23 infantry, 1 AA gun, 7 tanks, 8 fighters. US sent in 31 infantry, 8 artillery, 1 tank, 2 fighters, 2 bombards. That battle alone, isolated, US had a 5% to win that battle. But I think, Germany got +3 from the average. +3 units from the average. I was supposed to have 6 tanks, 8 fighters left. I think I was left with an infantry AA gun, 7 tanks, 8 fighters. The 3 above the average. But Allies had no odds. I had a 98.7% to hold in the end. When it came to UK this turn attacking and then US going after. So Allies had no hope, pretty much. Even if US got to the average, Allies were not expected to take Karelia. I had a 65% total, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so yeah, that was a pretty good game. Very enjoyable. Yeah, Destruct is a very good ally player. So I am happy I managed to beat him. I think I've played with him and against him in Friday Night Blitzes sometimes. On Rock Warriors channel, I think. He's a very good allied player, so I'm very happy to have bested him here. A very, very dicey game, but that's what I needed at the end of the day. There was no way Axis were going to come back from round one. Russia's start was way too strong. I don't see any other alternative than to blatantly just tank rush into Ukraine and pray for the dice. And the dice actually showed up here, so I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, GG and well played to ABLV or Destruct. Alright, that's the end of this game here. As always, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.